What's up guys, Mitchell Watts with Town & Country TV, and today we are talking about 10 things we absolutely hate about the all-new 2021 Ford Bronco. Now in a full disclosure, this vehicle is fantastic. I've got one on order myself. I'm personally buying it. I'm so excited I can't see straight. But with every fantastic vehicle on the marketplace, there's going to be some things that could be done a little bit better. So, you know, Ford, I know a lot of people from Ford Motor Company watch our videos, and we thank you for that. This is not a bash at you guys, but hopefully when the next generation comes out, some of these tweaks and minor options and changes could possibly be made. So let's go ahead and jump in. First up, if you go with a Lux package, you get what is called the Adaptive Cruise Control. And did you know that if you go with that Adaptive Cruise Control, it does not feature stop and go? So Adaptive Cruise works like this. It maintains a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. It uses radar sensors in that front bumper to look for that vehicle. Now, if you're driving down the interstate, it's fantastic. It does a great job of keeping you at a safe distance and all that kind of stuff. My wife has a 2020 Ford Explorer, and she has the Adaptive Cruise Control as well. But the only downside is hers has stop and go, meaning it will bring the vehicle to a complete dead stop. And then when it's ready to go again, you hit resume on the steering wheel and you never had to touch the gas or the brake. It will pick right up where you left off, maintaining that distance. The Bronco will keep you distanced between the vehicle in front of you, but it will not bring you to a complete stop, and it will not restart you. So that is my only quorum, and I'm sure there's a very logistic and legitimate reason that engineering could not be figured out with that particular thing. But that is one thing I absolutely love on the new Ford vehicles is Adaptive Cruise Control with stop and go, and I wish the stop and go was in the new Bronco. While we're on the topic of driver assist technologies, let's talk about the next one, and that's going to be lane centering, or lack thereof. So Ford has two primary technologies right now. They have lane keeping and lane centering. Lane keeping works like this. It's looking for the lines in the road using a camera in the windshield, and if it sees you start to veer out of the lane itself, it will bounce you back in the lane. If it's turned on, it'll bounce you back into the lane to keep you from running off the road. Think of it as a fail-safe. Now, when you fast forward and look at my wife's 2020 Explorer that I've already mentioned to you, she has lane centering, and it's exactly what it sounds like. As long as you have your hands on the steering wheel, the vehicle will use that same camera to look at the lines in the road, and it will keep you centered in the middle of that lane no matter what's going on. It's a fantastic technology that I wish was also in the Bronco, but at least we have the safety feature where it'll keep us bounced in the lane. Next up is going to be the lack of air conditioning vents in the center console for the back seat. So on the front end of the truck, I will tell you that we've been around the Bronco when it's really, really hot outside, and the front vents in the dashboard do a great job of keeping the air cool and bringing the temperature down. The only downside is that there are no air conditioning vents in the center console that the rear seat occupants that the rear seat occupants can actually utilize. So make sure that you realize if you've got small kids in rear facing seats or front facing seats, that they're going to have to rely off of the air conditioner vents that are coming off of the floor, or use the old school 460 air conditioner vent, you know, 4 windows down at 60 miles an hour. Next up, let's talk about the Fender Flares. Now, if you haven't watched our other video, we have a video that talks about 10, and actually there's 11 things that we absolutely love about the new Bronco. And one of the things we talked about was the modularity. We love how you can trick this out, customize this, do this, and it makes it very easy. The downside to that is the Fender Flares themselves can be easily removed without any tools at all. You simply move these little latches all the way around and pull it right out. I am afraid that there's going to be some Fender Flares that are stolen and put on eBay. So hopefully there's some way that we can find a way to maybe lock those in, or maybe the aftermarket has got some kind of a solution for that. But right now I'm concerned about Fender Flares getting stolen on the new Bronco. Next up, let's talk about the manual transmission. So it's awesome that Ford has given us a manual transmission in the 2.3 liter version, the 2.3 liter engine. The only downside is I wish they would have given us a manual transmission option for the 2.7. Now, I was a little disappointed at the take rate of the manual transmission, and I was kind of pondering exactly why not as many people ordered the manual transmission as they say they do. So everybody on the internet says, I want the manual, and then nobody actually ends up ordering it as a percentage wise. Maybe if they came out with a 2.7 with the manual transmission, you'd have more people accepting and adopting that particular transmission. I know that I would. Next up, let's talk about the door lock. So as I've mentioned in that previous video, it's awesome that Ford has made it so nice, compact, and easy to remove the doors off the Bronco. However, there's one major flaw, and that is going to be the door locks. So the door locks for the entire vehicle are located on the door. Now they were smart enough and they moved the window switches to the center console, so that way you can still roll the windows up, roll the windows down, or whatever if you remove the front doors. The only problem is, let's say you just remove the front two doors on a four-door version. Well, then you lose the ability to lock and unlock the rear doors, and you also lose the ability to unlock the actual cargo area out of the vehicle using the in-vehicle switches. You'd have to use the remote or use the key to unlock that. So I think it would have been a smart idea, and hopefully with the next generation they can move that door lock to that center console along with those window switches. It's just something you need to realize that before you kind of get yourself into a jam. Next up, let's talk about a feature that I absolutely love, and that's going to be the stabilizer disconnect. Now what's so cool about this is it gives you the ability to actually articulate the suspension even more so than you normally would. The reason that I hate or bring this up in a hate video is because that feature is not available in all the trims that I think it should be available. So it is only available in a first edition and a Badlands. So if you want an Outer Banks, there's no way possible for you to get a stabilizer disconnect. I thought it would have been cool if maybe they would have included that as an extra option or an extra feature available with the Sasquatch package, because the Sasquatch package gets the premium upgraded suspension anyway. So I just wish they would have made that fantastic feature available in more trim levels. Next up, let's talk about the fact that there are no ventilated seats available in the new Bronco. That is a feature that I think that they could have bumped up, the cost of the highest end version, maybe $1,000, charged the customer for it, and I for one would have definitely paid for it, especially in Alabama where it can get to be 105, 110 degrees outside sometimes. It would be awesome to have ventilated seats, but unfortunately it's not an option in the new Bronco. Hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next generation. Next up, let's talk about the fact that if you order a soft top from Ford Motor Company, that you don't have the connections you need to upfit it with a hard top later on. So it works like this: if you order a hard top from the factory, it's got rear windshield wiper and it's also got rear defrost. The only problem is if you order a soft top and have the idea that, hey, I'm going to add the hard top later, the vehicle is missing the connections to power that windshield wiper and also that defrost. So it's just something you need to realize as you're placing and confirming these orders with Ford. You need to think ahead. Okay, if I want to add that hardtop later, I'm going to lose some functionality, unless there is an aftermarket option, an aftermarket solution that is presented in the future. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one particularly plays out. Last but not least, let's talk about the fact that if you go with the Ford Accessories front winch mount solution, it's awesome that they give you the ability to do this from a Ford accessory standpoint. But did you know that if you have the 360-degree camera as an option and you put that winch mount solution on there, the winch is going to be blocking the camera that looks forward. And so I wish that Ford, or maybe once again an aftermarket solution, will come out that allows you to relocate that camera above the Bronco logo, so that way it's looking over the winch mount instead of into it. And there you go. Those are 10 things that we absolutely hate about the new Bronco, but I want to make it very, very clear. We don't hate the Bronco. This is the best thing that I have ever experienced in my 21-year career with Ford Motor Company, and I am absolutely blown away with how well put together this vehicle is. Yes, there's a couple of delays here and there with the launch of it, but I'd rather Ford launch it as a little bit of a delay than have a botched launch. That's the last thing that we absolutely need, and I thank you to the engineers who came out with an absolutely incredible, incredible vehicle. When you get yours, you will be overwhelmed at how awesome it is. The hype is real. There's no questions about it. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you got any help or entertainment out of this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. It does go a long way in helping the YouTube algorithm promote the video to other people. If you haven't already done so, make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel with that bell notification turned on so you don't miss a single video. Peace.